Hello, my name is Rosanamod, and welcome to the rosanamod podcast. Want to modify your life? That is corny, but I'm going to keep it in there. This variety show brainstorms solutions for everyday challenges, unlocks your secret potential, think outside the box with creative ideas that improve your business and your life. Get inspired with special guests, get motivated with how-to projects for the whole family, and learn that life is too short for anything less than being happy. Laugh with me or at me, it doesn't matter. Somebody's going to laugh. Welcome to the rosanamod Variety Pod. This is your vessel and host, Rosanamod, aka rosanamod. We are on episode 81. We're getting up there. And today's episode is going to be about little things that you can do with your podcast and to try and attract more listeners. I have noticed I have gotten a little bit more listeners than I did in the very beginning. Your friends don't listen to you. Now, you can't even get your mother to listen. Then, my mother does listen to my podcast, but it's funny how like the really close friends don't really listen because you talk to them all the time. And they're like, I hear you every day. Why would I want to listen? Okay, whatever. You know what? Whatever. Or then they'll come up to me and they'll say, hey, just as an example, I just love how you feed the crows, but it's like, why do you like them so much? I'm like, episode 80, 12 things you didn't know about crows. Hello, Oh, you talk about that? I'm like, yes. That's kind of annoying to me how I'm trying to put things out there and nobody wants to listen, right? So today's episode on the business, I really didn't know what to talk about. And I was like, what am I going to say? What am I going to talk about? I have all my ideas listed in a journal of things that I want to discuss. And they all seem too techie to really get into. And then I was just wondering what could be trending right now. So I looked in the Google Trends. I even went into Facebook community podcasting for my community podcast groups and looked at all the questions and see maybe there's some questions in there that I can tackle into my episode. A lot of people are asking, should you get your own website instead of leaving the host with their website? Like Buzzsprout gives you a free website. I'm happy with that. But I don't know. I wanted to do that, but then I wasn't really sure. And I thought, well, you know what? Let me just let it flow, which is usually what I do. I ad lib. I don't really like scripts. I don't like reading off of scripts. The only time I read off scripts, as you know, is when it's a list. Like the episode 80 about the 12 things you didn't know about crows. I have to write those things down so that I remember in bullet points. I mean, I don't write the whole thing down, verbatim through my head, but I put 1, the intelligence, 2, they live to be 50, 3, face recognition, that kind of stuff. And then I don't read off of it anymore. Or if I had 2 monitors, put one up, and I guess you could do this. I'm giving you an idea. If you had 2 monitors, you could put one up and then have a whole page on crows, and then you could read off of that instead of, making it up as you go. But I think I'm pretty good at making things up as I go. Not because I'm a BS artist, but because I'm a salesperson by nature. So I tend to persuade people to do things that they don't normally want to do. That does not sound good. That doesn't sound good at all. But I do have that persuasion, that thing that I do with, I don't know, maybe that's called charisma. I like to call it charisma. Cha-cha-cha. I'm doing Broadway hands, by the way. Yeah, it's too early to be messing with that stuff. So today I just wanted to talk about ways to network and ideas that you can, get more listeners. And I think I had already touched on this in one of the episodes in the very beginning, but I think I've progressed from episode 1 to episode 81. I hope so. If I didn't, I'm in trouble because I should be improving. My articulation is improving, I believe. Not that I've never had any problems. I've had problems before, but I tend to repeat myself when I talk, I noticed. I tend to go back and say things that I already said, reiterate things, and sound redundant. A lot of R words. I don't know why that is. I guess because in my head, I'm still translating from Spanish to English, and believe it or not, I do. So my brain is constantly, working. So it's like a Google search in my head of words and sentences and phrases and quotes and things and how to make myself understood, how to express my feelings without stuttering. Sometimes I stutter. Never had a problem with it, but I notice that I do that when I go back and edit. I say the, and I'm like, wait, where'd that come from? Since when did I ever stutter? Do I do that when I talk to people? I think I do. And nobody's ever told me, or I just never really paid attention. So how do we network? Okay, this is some other ideas that I picked up. We're getting off track here. Some of the things that I do is, as you know, as a writer, I'm on HubPages. HubPages is a really good platform for anybody that wants to write. It's up to 600 words minimum that you can put into an article. You go through an editing process where they look at it and they make sure that it's, good writing before they publish it. So you don't have to worry if you're a crappy writer. They're going to tell you that you're a crappy writer and they won't publish it. So it's good for you if you're learning. It's good for you if you're unsure, or if you need, just to brush up on your skills. And it's really good for you if you already know how to write. So I've got a few, articles on there. You can go look, put in my full name, Rosana Moduño, and look up HubPages, and you'll see all of my articles. A lot of those articles I take and I use as ideas for my episodes, which is a good idea if you're already a writer. That's one way to network. You put your link, like my Buzzsprout link, and my, I say that I'm a podcaster on that hub page. It should be on there. Another one is Linktree. It's one website where you list all of your links on one link. So everything that you do that has a link that you want people to know about, you put it under Linktree. So that way, if you have a business card or something, you add that Linktree to your business card. Another option is if you are an artist like me, which I am an artist and a writer, I have things like Fine Art America. I'm listed on there. I will put my Buzzsprout link there too, so that people that go in there know. And Spreadshirt and Cafe Press, which do t-shirts, design t-shirts, and you put your name on there. It's like these little places, and then Facebook. Now, Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest, let's start with those. Get on every group that you can in podcasting and join the group if it asks you to join, and post as much as you can and comment as much as you can, because what you're doing is you're generating information about yourself. You're putting yourself into that group circle. People's eyes are going to be looking at your name and your picture. And make sure that your website on Facebook, the cover, for example, I have 2 pages on Facebook. I have one that's rosanamod shop, which is where I put a couple of my pieces that I make, jewelry and stuff. And I don't have a lot of my things on there, just a little taste of things. And then I have the regular Facebook, with Rosana Moduño, which is my personal Facebook page. If you want to put your name out there as far as your podcast goes, and you're trying to generate more, then you should have a lot more friends. But be careful who those friends are. You don't want to cheapen your podcast by having crappy friends. That's my point. The cover behind your profile page, the logo was designed by Raquel Ruthless, who is a Michigan tattoo artist. The tattoo place is 9 Lives Tattoo in Ferndale, Michigan. And again, her name is Raquel Ruthless. The photo on the website shows her brunette, but she's a blonde right now. Beautiful, beautiful woman, and extremely talented. I told her that I wanted something that shows that I write and that I'm an artist as well, and she drew up this thing. It was like watercolor with a typewriter and a hand with a heart, and it's just beautiful. I love it. And I am going to get that as a tattoo, actually. That's going to be another one of my tattoos, which I have many done by her. I'm not in Michigan, but she used to, live here. The whole point is get cohesive on the things that you do as far as your networking for your podcast. If you're touching multiple venues and you want to get out there, try to keep the same name. Like I do rosanamod, because it's just easier to remember. I've always said people never pronounce my name right, or they just don't know how to spell it, or they get lost. And there's another Rosana Moduño out there, believe it or not, with 2 N's, and she actually she's actually famous in Italy. She's Raffaella Modugno and Rosana Modugno. They're actually famous people in Italy. I think they're models, of course, you know. In the jeans. You know, I'm just stretching over here and looking gorgeous. So I keep it cohesive by using the same logo on everything. I have it on my business cards, mailing labels. I have it on my background in my cover pages for my Buzzsprout website, and I also have it for both of my pages on Facebook. I have it on my Pinterest, which is also rosanamod, and that's another way to promote yourself. You just add pictures, add photos. It doesn't have to be, I know you're a podcaster, but so what? Add photos of things that you like. Get your name out there, even if it's just a picture of whatever, even if it's a picture of your dog or your cat. You put it out there, and then you just link it. Put your podcast link out there, or have an episode. For example, if I'm talking about crows, I'll put a post of my crow episode link on Pinterest. I haven't done it yet. And then I'll just add that link about crows with a picture of a crow. There you go. Do you see what I mean? If you do it like that. And then go on Instagram and do the same thing. Post a picture of a crow, and then put the episode 80, 12 things you didn't know about crows episode. Listen to my episode. You can only use pictures on Instagram, so take a screenshot of your episode and just put it on there. I've noticed that there's been a jump on my listeners. I've noticed that there's been a spread on the areas. For example, there's a lot more East Coast listening. There's a lot more Europe listening. I've got a lot of people, I don't know, a lot of people, but places that places that I have no connection to, like Russia and Mexico. I don't know anybody there. So I promise I don't know anybody in Russia. Start investigating me now. The point is, be cohesive. Use the same name. The best way, like I said, is to comment on as many things as you can and let people know that you are a podcaster when you talk to them. I talk to people all the time that I don't know, like on the street, and it'll just come up. Oh, I do podcasting. Oh, really? If you find them interesting and say, I do podcast, it's an idea that pops into his head now. You put a little seed out there, and then maybe he'll be on your show, or you could bring that up, or maybe would you like to be on my show? There's plenty of people that I spoke to that want to do that. My problem is just getting them together to find an appointment to actually meet because of my hours. That's going to be another conversation. So, well, I hope that this helped you spread out and be a little bit more cohesive would be the bottom line here. Get your name out there organically. Meet as many people as you can. Talk to them face to face so that they see the face and know that you're a podcaster. They're interested and they're curious to listen. Have them sign up, have them share, give out your business cards. I do mine with Vistaprint. Vistaprint tends to do their fonts a little smaller than what I would like. So now that I know how to do it, I won't do it less than 10 points on your Vistaprint. So make sure that you do it at least 10 points if you want it to be bigger. It's very cheap. I think, what is it, $20 for 100 business cards? Glossy. You can't go wrong with that. One design in the front and a couple of designs in the back, and I'm good to go. My phone number and my email address. And that's all that there's on there. Very simple. Keep it simple, not too wordy on the business card. And the mailing labels, I've done the same. Exactly the same. So there's no difference. The only difference is I write thank you on it. And when I'm selling anything like my jewelry, I use my business cards as my earring holder. So I punch 2 holes in the business card and I'll put my earrings on there, and that's how they get shipped out, because that way they have my business card and they have an earring holder, which I know they're not going to use. It's just for display purposes. And even the gift box is red, the inside part is purple. Everything matches with the logo. Everything I have is cohesive. All of the colors match according to what I do. So keep that in mind. because that way people will see something and they'll automatically think about you. Always diversify, keep yourself diversified. Don't just stick to your day job. Always have something on the side, because if God forbid something happens to your day job, you always have something to fall back on. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. If you want to support this show, I thank you very much. The link is below the show notes. If you think you want to do podcasting, also link below the show notes, step by step. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I am on Instagram, rosanamod. That's the best place you can reach me. I'm going to be adding some videos out there to Instagram soon, actually. I'm getting ready to do that. You get to see me talk. Hey, how exciting is that? That's another little bonus that you could do. Thank you for listening. God bless you. And what do we say? And how do we say it?